our footprint is gradually spreading across Pune. In the commercial arena, the new age B zones are matching the ambitions of modern-day entrepreneurs. One of the group's most ambitious ventures, Kohinoor World Towers, is a world-class business park taking shape in one of Pune's prime areas. Kohinoor Group continues to spread its wings in multiple sectors with serviced youth hostels and built-to-suit warehousing. Over 32 projects, 6,000 families, 6.5 million square feet of excellence. Kohinoor Group's legacy continues to be nurtured by the core values of care.
आप सब लोगों का स्नेह इसके वजह से कोहिनूर इतने बड़े मंजिल पार कर सकता है और इसलिए हम हमारे ग्राहकों के लिए, हमारे फ्लैट धारकों के लिए, हमारे कमर्शियल प्रोजेक्ट के लिए, सभी के लिए हमारे मन में एक भावना रहती है, सदा सुखी रहो।
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to every guest present here today. Thank you so much for being here today. We'd like to also extend a warm welcome to our chief guest, who's on his way, Shri Piyush Goyal, Honorable Union Minister for Commerce and Industry and Food and Public Distribution and Textiles, and our leadership talk speaker, Mr. Sanjiv Mehta, Chairman and Managing Director, Hindustan Unilever Limited. Our esteemed members of the jury, our winners and our partners, and of course, we welcome all of you, each and every one of our guests here today, for this very special edition of Financial Express CFO of the Year Awards 2022. Financial Express CFO of the Year Awards celebrates excellence, best practices, and outstanding achievements by India's leading chief financial officers. These are individuals who have established themselves as strategic thinkers, trusted advisors, astute leaders, and above all, masters at asset management. The awards recognize and reward companies and professionals who have enabled businesses to go beyond the ordinary. So this evening, ladies and gentlemen, will be divided into two parts. We will have the leadership talk, followed by the awards. As we proceed further in the evening, may I request you, if you are tweeting this evening, please use the hashtag FE CFO Awards. That's awards with an S. So we take this opportunity right now to thank all our partners, associate partner, Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation, Refine, Hewlett Packard, Unison Insurance, FRR Immigration, Kesari Tours, Kohinoor Group, and ICICI Bank, our knowledge partner, Deloitte India. Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin this evening, shall we? I now invite onto stage Mr. Shamal Majumdar, editor, Financial Express, to join us on stage for the opening remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Majumdar, sir.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, once again, on behalf of Financial Express, let me extend a very warm welcome to all of you to the FE CFO function. You know, FE CFO Awards is our way of celebrating excellence. And, you know, we are expecting our chief guest of today's function, Mr. Piyush Goyal. He will be arriving any moment now. So let us start the occasion. You know, very special thanks to Mr. Sanjiv Mehta, Hindustan Unilever's Chairman and Managing Director, for being here today and agreeing to talk about his vision of a strategy in a very uncertain external world. Who better than to talk about this than the head of India's largest FMCG company, whose products straddle the entire pyramid and whose growth is intertwined with India's growth story. Congratulations to all the award winners in different categories. The award winners can feel very proud of themselves as they were chosen by a distinguished 6-member jury led by Paresh Suktankar, former Deputy Managing Director, HDFC Bank. The other members were Amit Chandra, Chairman of Bain Capital, Pradeep Shah, Chairman of Indonesia Fund Advisors, Ashu Suyash, former MD of CRISIL, Ajay Srinivasan, CEO Aditya Birla Capital, and Amit Tandon of IIS. Watching the jury in action was a hugely educative experience for all of us. The kind of rigor they brought into this exercise was just fabulous. The award winners today are an example of fighting the odds in a world which has turned upside down because of the disaster that struck the entire world. The pandemic ushered in a level of questioning in existing processes that wasn't seen before, and CFOs have been at the forefront of finding answers to those questions. The award winners also managed to make the impossible possible in a world that still remained cloaked in uncertainty because of four factors. One, concerns about US inflation and monetary policy, concerns about macro stability in China, sudden collapse in a small but very important economy like Russia, and lastly, the heightened uncertainty about growth and inflation in India. This unpredictability in the external world is completely changing how companies manage risks and develop growth strategies. CFOs, therefore, are becoming a more influential part of the strategic planning process in their companies. The challenges before CFOs, of course, are many in terms of the quality of accounting policies and how to deal with regulatory interventions on better disclosures. While a large number of companies have improved remarkably on this front, there is still a substantial number which are yet to come up the curve and for whom all the talk about ESG, corporate governance, etc., are still just either a super long work in progress or just lip service. There is no doubt about the need to have a vigorous debate on the role of audit committees, remuneration and nomination committees, and the proper whistleblower policy. So, ladies and gentlemen, the stage is set for the FE CFO Award show. Just sit back and enjoy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Majumdar. Thank you for sharing with us how this evening will actually unfold and actually the theme behind this entire evening. So thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, corporate governance in a Bani world. That's the topic of our leadership talk this evening. I now invite onto stage Mr. Sanjiv Mehta, Chairman and Managing Director, Hindustan Unilever Limited, to share with us. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's a session we're all looking forward to. Please put your hands together and welcome on the stage Mr. Sanjiv Mehta. Sir, pleasure.
Delighted to meet you. Executive Director of the Indian Express Group, Shri Anand Goenka, Editor of the Financial Express, Shri Shamal Majumdar, friends from the finance fraternity, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and namaskar. I moved away from finance roles more than 20 years ago, and since then I've had the privilege of leading Unilever businesses in different parts of the world. But when I am amongst the finance professionals, I do really feel at home. So thank you, Financial Express, for inviting me to share my thoughts with the finance community. Let me start by saying that in this fast-changing world of today, the role of a CFO is evolving much beyond finance. Today, a CFO is expected to be a catalyst for business transformation and a growth enabler. They're expected to bring the outside in, foster capabilities of the future, and deal with ambiguity and uncertainty as they partner the CEO to steer the company ahead. And it is indeed my honor and pleasure to be amidst some of the brightest CFOs in India today. During the Cold War, the US Army had coined the acronym VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous, which was adopted by management practitioners around the world. While VUCA does persist, an American anthropologist, Jemias Cascio, has coined an acronym BANI to describe the current state of the world. He says it is brittle, anxious, non-linear, and incomprehensible. The last few years have shown us that seemingly unbreakable systems and mechanisms can snap without warning. Uncertainties can create deep anxieties. things change at an exponential pace, and comprehensive understanding of events and their effects is near impossible. As businesses, we need to be prepared for this Barney world. We need to be agile and resilient in a world where change is inevitable. Being adaptable and open to new approaches is key to staying ahead of the curve. We need to be able to pull together disparate views of a situation to create a plausible understanding. I call it sense making. We need to realize the power of collaboration, and we need to humanize leadership. But above all, it is corporate governance that will be the compass guiding businesses and helping them chart the growth path in this new world. Before we delve into corporate governance and the decisive role that it will play in helping us navigate successfully in a Barney world, let us go back in time to the origins of capitalism and how its changing forms necessitated the need for robust corporate governance in the first place. In the late 18th century, Scottish economist and philosopher Adam Smith described common good as the outcome of capitalism in his book, The Wealth of Nations. Over the next 2.5 centuries, capitalism became the harbinger of wealth and prosperity, gave the world many and innovations, helped create more wealth than ever before, which in turn resulted in significant improvement in standard of living across the world, including in our own country. Capitalism, as it evolved, was seen as a way to overcome political anarchies, monarchies, by providing economic independence to the individual and giving them the freedom of choice. Above all, businesses were meant to benefit society. When asked what the purpose of Ford Motor Company was, Henry Ford had said, to do as much possible for everybody concerned, and incidentally, to make money. Business is a service, not a bonanza. In the 1800s, when Mr. William Haskett Lever founded the enterprise that has become the Unilever of today, he launched the first branded soap, Sunlight, with a vision to foster cleanliness and hygiene in Victorian England. He also built the village of Port Sunlight in northwest England with housing for workers, a small hospital, a school, and an art gallery. Purpose-led, profits followed. A corporation built along these lines engendered trust and won the societal license to operate. However, over time, capitalism took a grotesque form by focusing only on generating profit and leaving in its wake a widening equity gap, depleting resources, and a nature crying for help. Charles Handy, the well-known philosopher and management author, in a Harvard Business Review piece titled, "What's a Business For?" had predicted capitalism will continue to be seen as a rich man's game, serving mainly itself and its agents. High-minded talent may start to shun it, and customers will desert it. Worse, democratic pressures may force governments to shackle corporations, limiting their independence and regulating the smallest details of their operations. And we shall all be the losers. The pertinent question we should ask, how did we get to this stage? The market capitalization of listed companies in India is over $3 trillion. Clearly, a significant amount of wealth has and is being created. Yet, according to the latest World Bank reports, up to 10% of our population continue to be below the poverty line. Perhaps in the pandemic, it might have gone up even more. According to the World Inequality Report, top 10% of Indians had about 96 times more income on an average than the bottom 50%. Another study claimed in 2021, India's top 1% owned 77% of country's wealth. This disparity of income and wealth is not limited to India alone. A global study indicated that 40 people who could be seated in one bus have more wealth than half of the world's population. In India, if we were not able to solve our water challenges, the supply of water will be half the demand in a not-so-distant future. What led us to this? While there are a lot of reasons, one thing we need to acknowledge is that businesses, perhaps in the quest for growth, had not looked at the interest of the society and the planet as they should have. Unidimensional focus on shareholder primacy cannot deliver sustainable growth. Companies need to be governed with respect for the society and environment. This needs to reflect in mainstream corporate governance models. We have seen several global instances of governance failure that have led to institutions collapsing, be it Enron, be it Lehman Brothers, or Arthur Andersen. Closer home in India, we saw this in the Satyam case, Kingfisher Airlines, and the near collapse of Yes Bank. While these are extreme examples, they have one commonality: complete lack of ethics and values. At the same time, there are companies that have withstood the test of time and are thriving with robust corporate governance. Take the Tata Group of companies, for example, that was built on the Gandhian trusteeship model for the common welfare of people. William Haskett Lever, too, had a similar perspective when he said, "I believe that nothing can be greater than a business, however small it may be, that is governed by conscience, and that nothing can be meaner or pettier than a business, however large, governed without honesty and without brotherhood." At Hindustan Unilever, responsible corporate conduct is integral to the way we do our business. Our actions are governed by our values and principles, which are reinforced at all levels. We are committed to the harder right than the easier wrong, doing things the right way, which means taking business decisions and acting in ways that are ethical and in compliance with applicable legislation, both in letter and in spirit. To succeed, we believe, requires higher standards of corporate behavior towards everyone we work with, the communities we touch, and the environment on which we have an impact. This is a road to what we call as the 4G of growth: consistent, competitive, profitable, and responsible, and creating long-term value for our shareholders, our people, and our business partners. Simply put, corporate governance is the framework that outlines a company's interactions with stakeholders and its approach towards both institutional and social matters. Good corporate governance hinges on total transparency, integrity, and responsibility, values that are non-negotiable, and a permission to play values for any business. With changing priorities of stakeholders, corporate governance too has evolved. For years now, corporations have been asked for the corporate purpose, a purpose that is relatable, goes beyond physical products and services, and makes a real difference to the society. The Purposeful Company Task Force in the UK defined purpose as how they contribute to human betterment and create long-term value for all their stakeholders. The PACTE, Action Plan for Business Growth and Transformation, law in France, asked companies for the raison d'etre. At a business roundtable in 2019, 181 global CEOs declared the commitment to all stakeholders. The era of Milton Friedman's business of business is gone. The corporate governance framework has metamorphosed to include environmental imperatives, diversity and inclusion-focused priorities, and social consciousness-led conversations. Consumers and citizens, too, are asking tough questions and holding organizations whose products and services they consume accountable for their actions on economic, social, and environmental fronts. Governance in the Bani world will hence have to go beyond mere legal compliance to address societal expectations. Let me illustrate this with an example. Hindustan Unilever was one of the founding members of Trustee, a sustainable tea foundation that aims to provide high quality and safety for consumers, good livelihood for producers, workers and their families, whilst at all times caring for the environment. This is good governance that goes beyond the legal requirements, and today 70% of all the tea that we use in packaging of our brands is sourced from sustainable sources. The pandemic was just an example of the Bani future, and it brought many of the world's ongoing challenges into sharp focus. I'm talking about big issues like climate emergency, rampant social inequality, and the terrifying specter of ecosystem collapse. Climate change is one of the biggest concerns looming over humanity, and the cost of inaction will be devastation in just a few decades from now. We are akin to the turkey described by Nicholas Taleb in his book, The Black Swan. Well-fed, comfortable, and without the slightest inkling that tomorrow could be Thanksgiving. India has seen several incidents linked to global warming just in 21, from a glacier collapse in the Himalayas to a sweltering heat wave, and 3 cyclones that occurred within a few days of each other, causing considerable harm and damage. The second big concern is that of social inequality. According to OECD, economic inequality has been the highest for the past half century. I strongly believe that businesses cannot prosper in a failing society. The last few years have reinforced the need for businesses to drive positive social change, be it enhancing livelihoods, creating employment, or propagating diversity and inclusiveness. Addressing climate change or social inequality was never only the purview of governments and international bodies. It requires collective and bold actions across the board, including for organizations like Hindustan Unilever, which are an integral part of 9 in 10 households in the country. Last year, the Edelman Trust Barometer found that the world seems to be clouded by mistrust and information, but there is a glimmer of hope in business. The study shows that business is the most trusted institution with 61% trust level globally and seen as both ethical and competent. This is a position of great responsibility. At Unilever, we have always strived to grow our business while protecting the planet and doing good for the people. We believe that to generate superior long-term value, we need to care for all our stakeholders, our consumers, customers, employees, shareholders, and above all, the planet and the society. We call it the multi-stakeholder model of sustainable growth, or the compounding model of value creation. The Barney future also necessitates a paradigm shift in how we govern businesses. The critical topic that will dominate governance for the future is ESG. While investors are increasingly evaluating corporations on environmental, social, and governance criteria, and government bodies focus on ESG reporting by companies, it is indeed the responsibility of a company to find new ways to sustain performance and grow in this volatile environment while protecting the business model and embedding ESG in its strategy. At Unilever, we embed ESG into our business through a compass strategy. The fully integrated business strategy lays the pathway for us to realize our vision of being a leader in the sustainable business and deliver the highest possible value, not just as a business, but to all our stakeholders. Translating the compass into action are multi-year commitments in the areas of environment, society, and governance. Our set of global actions and commitments are designed to improve the health of the planet. They include a commitment to have net zero emissions from all products by 2039, from the sourcing of materials used to the point of sale of products. Unilever is also challenging itself to even higher standards to protect high carbon ecosystems like forests, peatlands, and tropical rainforests. It is also aiming for a deforestation-free supply chain by 2023. Simultaneously, we announced a plan to tackle the most environmental issue in the consumer goods industry, plastic packaging. It has set bold targets globally that include halving its use of virgin plastic and helping to collect and process more plastic packaging than it sells. In India, in 2021, we collected more plastic waste from the streets of India than the plastic we use in the packaging of our finished products. Water, a resource that is not only essential for our business, but also supports lives and livelihoods of people, is yet another area of focus for us. Through our Hindustan Unilever Foundation, a not-for-profit company that was set up in 2010, we support and amplify scalable solutions that can help address India's water challenges. In the last 8-9 years, we have delivered a cumulative and collective water potential of over 1.9 trillion liters. To underscore the importance of the water potential created by us, this is more than the drinking water needs of the entire Indian population for an entire year. We continually strive to build more resilient and equitable communities by raising living standards, advancing equity, diversity and inclusion, and preparing people for the future of work. Today, 44% of our management workforce is women. And in another couple of years, we will be gender balanced. We have been imparting employable and future fit skills to women, people with disabilities, transgenders, sex workers, and the youth of India through our livelihood centers. Prabhat is our community development initiative that has impacted over 7 million lives across 21 states. Our Project Shakti has created 1.6 lakh women entrepreneurs who collectively generate sales of over 3,000 crores. We believe that our brands can be agents of social change, and through social initiatives, they've been driving positive change. In 21, Unilever made a groundbreaking commitment. Everyone who directly provides goods and services to us will earn at least a living wage or a living income by 2030. In fact, until social justice and fairness became commonplace, people will expect businesses to drive equity and create a fairer and a more socially inclusive society. We have seen a significant uptick in demand of a social voice from corporates. Here again, it is the duty of the board to balance between transparency, ethics, and corporate behavior. The responsibility for the governance of companies lies with the board, and the independent directors oversee critical processes. It is important that the companies are guided by informed but impartial views on certain governance aspects. In HUL, all our board committees except one are chaired by independent directors. We have for years now had a board composition which has more independent directors than whole-time directors, a reflection of our governance-led approach. We truly believe that board management and executive management should be led by two different professionals. And while SEBI has made this condition voluntary, we have decided to be progressive and are separating the two positions of chairman of the board and the CEO. The next time I speak to you, it won't be as a chairman and managing director, it would be as a CEO and managing director. I truly believe that to achieve a vision of becoming a middle-income country, India Inc. needs to come forward and embed the ESG framework into the business strategy. It cannot be an add-on or based on selective application. As an economy that is one of the fastest growing, notwithstanding the economic upheavals of the recent past, we have to manage our impact on natural resources and at the same time ensure that this growth touches every section of society. All of us present here today need to pull our energies together in driving a collective shift from a conscious capitalism that this bunny world needs. To quote Mahatma Gandhi, carefully watch your thoughts, for they become your words. Manage and watch your words, for they become your actions. Consider and judge your actions, for they could become your habits. Acknowledge and watch your habits, for they could become your values. Understand and embrace your values, for they become your destiny. Ladies and gentlemen, let us make the destiny of our country an equitable, inclusive, and sustainable one. I would like to congratulate all the winners. Keep the flag flying high, and may your tribe keep increasing. Thank you, and it's been a pleasure speaking to all of you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sanjiv Mehta. That was enlightening and truly thought-provoking, a discussion as we navigate the complexities of the world around us. So now, ladies and gentlemen, as we move forward, embodying the Indian Express Group's spirit of excellence and credibility, Financial Express CFO of the Year Awards nominations witnessed thorough scrutiny by the Financial Express editorial team and our knowledge partner, Deloitte, to ensure that only the finest and most innovative companies were placed in front of the eminent jury. Guiding us through the process was a very distinguished jury panel comprising of corporate strategists, academicians, and thought leaders from the Indian corporate world, those who are well-respected innovators in their community. The jury panel of the Financial Express CFO of the Year Awards 2022 includes Mr. Paresh Suktankar, former Deputy Managing Director, HDFC Bank; We'd also like to thank Mr. Amit Chandra, Managing Director, Bain Capital, Mr. Pradeep Shah, Founder, Ind Asia Fund Advisors, Mr. Ajay Srinivasan, Chief Executive Officer, Aditya Birla Capital, Mr. Amit Tandon, Founder and Managing Director, Institutional Investor Advisory Services, and Ms. Ashu Suyash, former Managing Director and CEO, CRISIL. Ladies and gentlemen, I think our jury panel requires a huge round of applause. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I now request Mr. Anand Goenka, Executive Director, the Indian Express Group, to kindly join us on stage to share the welcome address. And ladies and gentlemen, as Mr. Anand Goenka joins us on stage, a loud round of applause. And we also look forward to our chief guest joining us in a few minutes from now. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Anand Goenka.
Thank you so much. I'm just kind of thinking on my feet here because I think our chief guest is, I can see him outside. I think he's stuck on a call, so I wanted to just introduce him very briefly and have him take the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I have had the pleasure and the privilege of introducing Piyush Goyal to audiences on very many occasions. First, before 2014 and before he became a minister, and a few times thereafter. And the one thing that I think hasn't changed about him is the passion and the candidness with which he works, and the passion and the candidness with which he communicates. So I'll just pause for a bit. I think I'll just wait for him to come in and I'll just introduce him and then we can leave the stage to him. So I'll just pause for a bit and I'll come back in a second. Sorry for the pause. Give me 1 second.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, a quick mention that if you are tweeting and if you are making sure that your presence in social media says that you've been here this evening, remember to go ahead and add the hashtag that I mentioned earlier today, FE CFO Awards, that's awards with an S. So now I think while you're waiting would be a good time to go ahead and do that, the hashtag FE CFO Awards. So I'm hoping you're going to be looking down at your screen right now. So everybody, you can do that. We've got a minute or two in hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that short pause in the middle of the event. Piyush, I was just saying that I've had the pleasure and the privilege of introducing you to audiences on very many occasions, even before you were a minister and now obviously a few times after. And the one thing I've noticed that hasn't changed about you is the candidness and the passion with which you work and the candidness and the passion with which you communicate. So as everybody's here looking forward to hearing from you, so am I. Especially after I read just yesterday that under Piyush ji's watch, India's total exports have hit 400 billion US dollars. That's a new record for India. So congratulations to everybody and congratulations, Piyush. And now Piyush is faced with the unenviable job of maintaining India's economic interests in the midst of what seems like a fast-changing world order after the Ukraine war. So there couldn't be a better chief guest for the FE CFO Awards. I won't come between you and him anymore. Piyush, thank you so much for making time for us, for flying down. Very warm welcome. I'll leave the stage to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anand. Thank you, Shamal, for inviting me. I believe you've given a interesting lecture on leadership just before I came in. And congratulations, Sheshagiri, for the recognition that you very richly deserve as somebody who has contributed very hugely to the financial world of business. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for waiting for me. I got a little late because the flight came in about 40 minutes late. But while I may have missed Sanjiv ji's lecture, I'll catch up on it later. But thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to engage with all of you to explain or in a way discuss some of the issues that will help India truly become Atmanirbhar, which I was told the journey of making India Atmanirbhar, which I was told would be the topic on which you would like me to address you. I'd also like to compliment the jury. I was reading about the jury, though I don't see many of them here, at least I can't make out. But very good selection of awardees. My compliments to all the distinguished CFOs who were awarded for different categories today. And I'm sure this recognition, this award will help both encourage the winners to do better in the years to come, and for those who did not get the award, for pursuing their efforts to certainly become award winners going forward. Financial Express, of course, is a paper I read every morning. We also get the instant news brief from Anant, which helps navigate the day's stories much faster. But I think, at least I'm from the old school of thought who still likes to get the touch and feel of paper and read it with the morning cup of tea. But I'm sure Anant would be very delighted to hear that. And I personally believe it's very important that the newspaper industry, the dissemination of information through the newspaper in the morning continues while the online world will continue to grow, continue to provide us very informative and very quick news. I think the studied, very, very in-depth analysis that we get from the newspaper is something that instant news will never be able to make up for. And therefore, I wish all success to Financial Express in the years to come to continue to give us very holistic coverage of what's happening in the finance world. Also, I hope accurate coverage, sometimes in the garb of independent journalism, for which the Express Group is very well known. There's a tendency to skip reality or a tendency to try and show everything in a little bit of a anti-establishment light, which I don't think necessarily only reflects independence or independent or fearless journalism, as Ramnathji used to call it. I think objectivity and realism is equally important when we are talking about independent and fearless journalism. Incidentally, I personally have a very, very deep connect with this group almost since my childhood. I've had the unique privilege, which probably other than Anant himself, very few in this room would have had, of interacting on more than one occasion with Ramnathji while I was a kid, literally a school-going kid. And I still recall the days when with my father I would get an opportunity to engage with Ramnathji in his fight against the emergency. That truly was independent journalism at its best. Fearless courage that was shown by Ramnathji was truly extraordinary. And over the years, I think that legacy has carried on very well. At this stage, I must say that I deeply miss Sunil Jain, somebody who never minced words, somebody who was willing to call a spade, but also somebody with whom I had several reasons to disagree on many issues, but was always a delight to engage with him, to talk to him and learn also from him many new ideas. We all miss him deeply. It's really a terrible loss, not only for Financial Express or the journalistic world, but for all of us in the field of finance. And I do hope wherever he is, he will continue to inspire future generations of journalists with the work that he has left behind. Thank you for the acknowledgement of the $400 billion export achievement. We hope to close the year with about 410 or thereabouts. And all of you have contributed in that. I think the credit fairly and squarely goes to each and every stakeholder in this ecosystem, be it our big industry, our MSME sector, farmers. We've had over $40 billion of agricultural export in the last 12 months. And by the time we close the year, we expected to touch $50 billion. It's a remarkable achievement that our farmers and the entire ecosystem associated with that has achieved. Our engineering exports will cross $100 billion. That's another very unique feature of this year's achievements. Gem and jewelry, textiles, leather, all of them are coming back on track. Petroleum exports have also shown remarkable increase. Of course, in the case of petroleum, some of it would also be due to high commodity prices. The steel sector has done extremely well. I've been following the JSW success story in which, Seshagiri, you have had a very important role to play. And I must say that the steel industry has done exceedingly well, both in terms of their operations and in terms of their competitive edge that we have today in the whole world when we are engaging with both international trade and looking at massive expansion plans of the industry. Probably your own company is one of the most cost-effective steel manufacturer in the entire world today, and truly makes all of us Indians proud. Day before I had mentioned that the story is not yet fully out. We'll still be receiving the achievement of some absolutely wonderful targets on service exports, which will be out very soon. There's a little bit of a time lag usually in getting the numbers of service exports. But I wouldn't hesitate to venture a guess that we'll probably top $250 billion of service exports. Collectively making this a memorable year. And I believe, since I'm in my hometown of Mumbai, it's a padav, a threshold. And in Marathi, I think it's called probably Umberta. Somebody can help me, somebody in the audience. Probably the stepping stone or the first step, like a threshold, is what we have achieved this year. And sometimes you need to cross one very critical cusp to be able to be much more ambitious in the future. And this crossing of $650 billion in terms of our outward export of goods and services, coupled with an overall international trade volume which should be in the region of about $1,400 billion or thereabouts, $1,350 billion probably, yeah, $1,325 to $1,350 billion will take us into the big league. And my own confidence is that the target that I set out before all the exporters, that we should have a race to the top, that the goods sector also races to $1 trillion and our service exports also expands rapidly to achieve $1 trillion, so that they both converge in about 10 years time or so to both achieve $1 trillion of export each, helping us get $2 trillion of revenue from exports will be a nice target to have, a nice goal to work towards. And I've been assured by all the export promotion councils and industry associations that they accept the challenge. They are willing to go that extra mile to achieve this. And I think if all of us and all the CFOs, many of whom are assembled in this room, can take this message to your respective companies, to all the stakeholders in this ecosystem, I think we'll truly be working with the collective effort of the entire ecosystem, which can help us achieve this target. Well, if not in 10 years, I think we should be more ambitious and plan for 8, but not let it slip to 12. And I think there's a great story here, which dovetails into Prime Minister Modi's Atmanirbhar Bharat vision very, very seamlessly. When he talks of a self-reliant India, he's certainly not talking of an India which closes its doors to international engagement. Of course, Atmanirbhar Bharat is about self-confidence, self-sufficiency. It's about engaging with the world from a position of strength so that we can face competition without necessarily looking for government support. But it certainly is not something which restricts India from our international trade efforts and the outreach that we are taking to the rest of the world. In fact, as we speak, we are negotiating free trade agreements with Australia, the United Kingdom, Canada, the European Union, Very soon we're with Israel, and very soon we hope to launch with the GCC, the Middle Eastern countries. We've already concluded with UAE, and probably I'll be in the UAE day after tomorrow, and possibly on Sunday or Monday, the more granular details of that free trade agreement will be available for all of you. But by and large, the important elements of that have already been shared through our various industry interactions and have been very, very well received. I've yet to read one article of discontent with the way the entire negotiation took place. And by the way, the fastest negotiated FTA ever, and probably ever anywhere in the world, was the India-UAE negotiation. 88 days flat, start to finish. And an excellent agreement that opens huge opportunities for Indian businesses. Our own estimate is that the trade, which is at about 65 billion now, will go up to 100 billion very rapidly. But both ministers from the UAE and India have agreed that our ambition should be much bigger, particularly since the UAE is often a gateway to all of Africa, to the Middle East, to some parts of Europe. So UAE as a trading hub can provide that gateway and help us expand our engagement with the rest of the world very, very rapidly. And therefore, emboldened with the success with the UAE, we are negotiating again from a position of strength with other geographies. But every FTA has to be fair and equitable on both sides. And I'm sure you have the confidence and trust that Prime Minister Modi and his team will never let India down. It'll always be a good FTA. Yesterday, when I was reviewing the discussions that we've had and the level of discussions that we've had, it's not been one round, but multiple rounds of stakeholder consultations with the various ministries, the interministerial consultation, with industries directly, where we've had discussions with the companies or sectors which will get directly impacted by the FTA. We've had large number of engagements with the export promotion councils and several rounds with industry associations. And mind you, it's not only the defensive interests of India that we are discussing, it's our offensive interests which are equally important. Sadly, the nation's psyche has become very defensive. We are all the time looking at protecting our market and looking at how we can bring in more and more clauses into the agreement, bring in more and more toughened stand, which we believe will save the Indian market from an onslaught. Very often we lose that the larger part of the FTA or a comprehensive economic partnership should be devoted to our offensive interests. I can assure you, the ministries themselves take enough and more protective steps or enough and more actions to ensure that Indian markets get protected. By and large, our interministerial consultations show enough and more effort from each ministry to safeguard the Indian industry interests. I think we, all of us in industry, have to look at various geographies, various countries, and explore how we can expand our footprint in those economies, particularly the developed world, where the purchasing power is high, where they have large GDPs and large per capita GDPs, where Indian goods and services can play a very important role in their economies. We are cost competitive, India has talent, and India is a trusted partner which other countries look up to for their newer strategies, where they are looking at diversified supply chains, where they are looking at resilient or robust supply chains with whom they can trust with their data and with whom they have the confidence that supply chains won't get disrupted. And I think India fits the bill very well. India is today looked upon as a reliable partner, and to my mind, this is the time for all of us to look at much, much greater engagement with the rest of the world. My own industry interactions give me the confidence to say that our Indian industry is ready to work with the rest of the world, particularly the world which works on a rules-based, transparent, and fair system. I think when we walked out of RCEP, we got almost unanimous support across the board from every sector, every industry association, every export promotion council, every large or small industry, the farmers and their associations, the MSME, everybody was concerned about the presence of China in the RCEP, particularly since that economy is not very open. It doesn't welcome Indian industry. It creates roadblocks. Their pricing is non-transparent. And across the country, and the decision to walk out also happened because of the extensive stakeholder consultation. It's of course unfortunate that the pink papers still don't understand it, but well, I think that's our shortcoming, that we are not able to explain it to them. I was reading a editorial even this morning, which after all of the good things on export went back to RCEP, that India should reconsider joining RCEP. I was truly amazed when I read that, and was wondering whether they would be equally happy to allow all the news media from all over the world to come and work in India. When it comes to the news media, they want roadblocks to be created. They want restriction on foreign media to be given access to the Indian market. They say that don't even allow their investment to be beyond what, 24% or what it is now? Foreign direct investment in news media should not exceed 24%. Or on television, 49%. They are aghast at the idea also. But in writing editorials, of course it's a free world, and that's the courage of independent journalism, which we all respect and recognize. But they want protection. They're not happy that we protect our farmers, our MSME, our dairy, our small industry, big and small. There they want the RCEP to be the framework and Indian industry to compete with non-transparent economies. I just hope that will be food for thought. And I do hope even the journalists would reflect on what is good for India and where we need to protect and where we need to be more offensive. And my own sense is that it's the developed world where India should be looking at expanding its footprint, and that's where the future growth story of India lies. No country in the world has grown without significant international engagement. And I think India now recognizes that, Indian industry recognizes that, and towards that end, I think we'll have to look at a few very critical elements in our journey towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. And that journey is something that the whole of the government today is working towards. Every ministry, every department, central government is trying to get the states along with them and working with a collective vision to provide prosperity to 1.3 billion Indians. And that's only possible when the economy grows, opportunities grow, and we can take prosperity to the remotest corners of India. And towards that end, I think whether it's our production-linked incentive program to help Indian industry in its initial phase to develop large economies of scale, and we've done it with industry interaction. I don't know if you're aware, the PLI scheme came out of a committee, a steering committee, which was totally led by the private sector. So we had Pawan Goenka as chairman of the scale committee. along with certain other eminent people from industry, from the manufacturing side. We had FICCI, CII and ASSOCHAM engaged as a part of the scale committee, and the government was only acting as a facilitator to get industry together, to get the government industry interface sorted out. And the PLI scheme emerged out of a very, very careful analysis of some 24 sectors that was carried out by the scale committee, which selected the 14 sectors for which we have earmarked nearly 2 lakh crores as production-linked incentives to help them achieve scale and global competitiveness. I think we have the special steels also in that. We have drone manufacturing. We have technical textiles, things which there is a huge international market for. But somehow India has remained a marginal player. So when we look at the textile sector, since I'm also textile minister, we find that we've been so much focused at one element of the market, largely the cotton sector, that we've totally ignored technical textiles or geotextiles. And in the process, we didn't realize that 2/3 of the global trade is in technical textiles or man-made fibers or man-made products, where we have remained only a very marginal player. And therefore, the PLI seeks to address that imbalance and get us a greater market share on that sector. Specialty steels, another sector where PLI has been brought in, is something where we don't have enough domestic demand. And therefore, the price competitiveness has not come in, scale not having been achieved. So we brought in a PLI for that. Food processing, drone manufacturing, new sector, a new world, new technology. We want to give it an edge right from the beginning so that that industry comes to India. We've seen the success of the PLI schemes in the mobile manufacturing space. We are now the world's second or third largest manufacturer of mobiles in the country, probably second largest. I just read the other day, Apple would be exporting 10,000 crores worth of mobiles from India. And their plans are much, much more aggressive going forward. Samsung is in India and Uttar Pradesh in a big way with very, very aggressive plans in the future. And compliments to Chief Minister Shri Yogi Adityanath for both being sworn in for the first time ever in Uttar Pradesh as a chief minister who ran a government for 5 full years and then got re-elected. It's never happened in independent India. But it happened on the strength of his work. It happened because he promoted industry. It happened because for the first time, we have an export minister in a state. Otherwise, states would say it's not our job, it's the center's job. For the first time, Yogi Adityanath, recognizing the importance of exports, brought in a minister to handle and promote when we had started the one district, one product scheme or the district as an export hub. And with the collective effort of the center and state, which you've often heard as the double engine government working for prosperity in India, we've been able to almost increase exports from Uttar Pradesh by 70 or 80% in the last 2 or 3 years. So really a huge collective effort which has gone in to achieve that. And that's on the back of a good law and order system there. That's on the back of government acting as a proactive facilitator to encourage industry big and small. And that is why large number of people are now rushing to Uttar Pradesh to set up shop. I'm only sharing this example to show how today good governance is reaping good results politically also. There was a time when there was the old idiom that good economics doesn't make for good politics. Prime Minister Modi has changed that to show that good economics can also mean good politics. And I think the country today recognizes all the innovative steps being taken. Semiconductors, we were happily and merrily dependent on the rest of the world. For the first time, the government has come out with a scheme for one sector alone at 76,000 crore rupees government support, $10 billion. I would think she has had a long career in industry. Never before would any of us have imagined, since I also come from your field, I don't think we had imagined in our lifetime to hear of a government scheme which was willing to support industry with $10 billion cash on the table and attract domestic manufacturing to that extent. I wish we had done all of this 10 or 15 or 20 years ago. Or possibly if we had started on this journey when China embarked on it in 1984, if we had also embarked on this journey, today we would have been a Atmanirbhar nation, a self-reliant nation. Today we would have been well on track to become a prosperous nation. And at that point of time, India's per capita GDP was more than China's. But we lost out along the way. And I think this is the time for all of us collectively, as Prime Minister says, सबका विकास तभी होगा जब सबका विश्वास भी पाएंगे और सबका प्रयास भी होगा. It will have to be a collective effort to build trust within the country, with other countries. And only when all of us work collectively for the progress of the nation will we truly see sabka vikas and everybody will prosper. And towards that end, we've come up also with other innovative initiatives like the PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan, Infrastructure Master Plan, a plan which will help India develop its infrastructure in a much more thoughtful, organized, and intelligent manner. And help us both to conceptualize projects, implement them, monitor them, so that we can achieve a much faster rollout of the much needed infrastructure in India in time, at stated costs, and help bring down the logistics costs of the country. I won't delve into details of the PM Gati Shakti, but believe me, I'm so passionate about it that on every opportunity I get, I try to demystify PM Gati Shakti. For paucity of time, I won't do that today, but I would urge each one of you, and I would urge the journalists in the room or Financial Express to please understand PM Gati Shakti. We are happy to send officials to explain it to you. It's fascinating. I still remember when Prime Minister Modi came out with this idea. Everybody was both dazzled and unable to comprehend what is his objective, what is he looking for. But at the end of the day, what's come out is truly path-breaking. Nowhere in the world has somebody conceptualized something like PM Gati Shakti. And I would urge all of you, particularly the friends from the media who can influence the thought processes in the country, to study this and demystify it for the common man. It's such a brilliant, simple concept that it can transform the way we plan our future, the way industries are located in the future, the way infrastructure is committed or planned in the future. I mean, a simple thing like, since we are in Mumbai, the problem we face at JNPT. I'm sure if any of you are exporters or have ever either gone to JNPT or passed your transporter's bill on the way who transport your material to JNPT, you would know that we have one of the finest ports at JNPT, but it doesn't have a road connectivity to the national highway. And that road, for reasons best known to the planners over the years, has somehow never got sorted out, never got really made. I don't know the most recent position. I'm out of business for the last 8 years. I mean, the business of running business. But at least until 2014, I recall JNPT, am I right, Sesh? The last mile connectivity, 10 or 12 kilometers, was perpetually a broken road. And I, for the life of me, I can't understand when the port was made, why the connectivity, last mile connectivity was not conceptualized. PM Gati Shakti can change all of that. So it's really something that we in my ministry are very, very passionate about. We see that as the road towards lower costs of logistics. And I assure you, ladies and gentlemen, the country is moving on the right path, is well on track to achieve some truly outstanding and phenomenal results in the years to come. We are looking at sustained economic growth. We've had a lot of roadblocks. The COVID took away 2 years. We now have a situation between two countries which is also causing a lot of disruption in supply chains, shipping lines, and global stability. But we have the courage of conviction to say that India is on the path of success. We will not rest with incremental change. We are looking at transformational improvements in this journey, and this journey will be incomplete unless we all walk hand in hand together, because together we can move mountains. I invite all of you to be a part of this journey. Once again, my compliments to all the award winners today. May this award really encourage everybody to put in even greater effort in the years to come, and may all of us contribute towards the success of India in the years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I think that everybody in this room, there was a pause before you walked in, but you've truly, like they say, the pause before a storm of knowledge and enlightenment. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. To now acknowledge and present a beautiful memento, we'd like to invite onto stage Mr. Anand Goenka, Executive Director, the Indian Express Group, to do us the honors and present the Honorable Union Minister with our token of appreciation. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in thanking Shri Piyush Goyal, our chief guest today, the Honorable Union Minister, for his time. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to that part of the evening that we've all eagerly been waiting for. The Financial Express CFO of the Year Awards 2022. FE CFO Awards recognizes innovative companies across small, medium, and large enterprises in both manufacturing and services segments. We also have two very special awards, the FE CFO of the Year Award and the Lifetime Achievement Award. At the behest of our eminent jury, we've done away with rankings this year. So all the segments will have winners who have been specially selected for their fantastic, credible work in their segments. So ladies and gentlemen, as we start out this evening to join our dignitaries on stage, I'm going to invite Mr. Krishna Kumar Goyal, Chairman and Managing Director, Kohinoor Group, to do us the honors and present along with our dignitaries. Welcome, sir. Financial Express CFO Awards Small Enterprises. Now, this award felicitates companies that have a gross turnover of less than 1,500 crore rupees across the manufacturing and services sector. In the small enterprise manufacturing segment, the winner for the Financial Express CFO Awards 2022 is Polyplex Corporation Limited, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome on the stage Mr. Rakesh Agarwal, Chief Financial Officer, Polyplex Corporation, to accept the award. Congratulations. In the category, our next winner is Suven Pharmaceuticals Limited. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. P. Subbarao, Chief Financial Officer, Suven Pharmaceuticals, is unable to be here with us tonight. May I request a representative to please join us on stage? Congratulations. Winner in the Small Enterprise Manufacturing segment for the Financial Express CFO Awards 2022 is Metropolis Healthcare Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, a loud round of applause as we welcome on the stage Mr. Rakesh Agarwal, Chief Financial Officer, Metropolis Healthcare. Congratulations. Moving on to the Small Enterprises Services segment, and our next winner for the Financial Express CFO Awards 2022 is Sonata Software Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as we welcome on the stage Mr. Jagannathan Chakrabarty, Chief Financial Officer, Sonata Software, to accept the award. The Small Enterprise Services segment, our next winner is eClerx Services Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, Mr. Rohitash Gupta, Chief Financial Officer, eClerx, is unable to join us today. May I request a representative from eClerx to join us on stage? He's here. A loud round of applause. In the Small Enterprise Services segment is Dr. Lal Path Labs. I invite Mr. Ved Prakash Goyal, Chief Financial Officer, Dr. Lal Path Labs, to please join us on stage and accept the award. Congratulations to you, sir. Continuing with the Small Enterprise Services segment, the next award goes to Aptis Value Housing Finance India Limited. I invite Mr. P. Balaji, Executive Director and Chief Financial Officer, Aptis Value Housing Finance, to join us on stage. Congratulations. Well, with that, congratulations. We'd like to also thank Mr. Krishna Kumar Goyal. Thank you very much for joining us on stage and presenting. I invite Mr. Jai Mehta, Director, FRR Immigration, to join us on stage, join our dignitaries to present the next set of awards. Welcome, sir. Mr. Jai Mehta, Director, FRR Immigration, joining us on stage. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we look forward to our presenter also joining our dignitaries on stage, let's move on. We now move on to the medium enterprises segment, companies that have a gross turnover between 1,500 to 3,000 crore rupees, and we begin with the manufacturing segment. The first winner for the Financial Express CFO Awards 2022 in the manufacturing segment is Ajanta Pharma Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Arvind Agarwal, Chief Financial Officer, Ajanta Pharma, to kindly join us on stage. In the medium enterprise manufacturing segment, our next winner is Grindwell Norton Limited. May I invite onto stage Mr. Deepak Chindarkar, Chief Financial Officer, Grindwell Norton, to accept the award. Ladies and gentlemen, a truly loud round of applause, please. Continuing with the medium enterprise manufacturing segment, our next winner for the Financial Express CFO Awards 2022 is, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Pfizer Limited. May I request Mr. Milind Anil Patil, Chief Financial Officer and Regional Financial Lead Asia at Pfizer, to join us on stage to accept the award. We're moving on to the services segment in the medium enterprises. Our first winner in this category for the FE CFO Awards 2022 is ICICI Securities Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Harvinder Jaspal, Chief Financial Officer, ICICI Securities, to receive his award. Welcome, sir. The next winner in the Medium Enterprises Services segment is Persistent Systems Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, that calls for a loud round of applause as we welcome Mr. Sunil Yashwant Sapre, Executive Director and Chief Financial Officer, Persistent Systems, who's unable to be here with us, but we have Mr. Amit Athre, Company Secretary, Persistent Systems, who's here accepting the award on his behalf. Congratulations. Well, we'd like to thank Mr. Mehta. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us on stage, for presenting. Thank you very much, sir. And now we move on, and I invite Mr. Porus Doctor, Partner, Deloitte Touche Tomatsu India, and CFO Program Leader, Asia Pacific, to join us on stage to present along with our honorable dignitaries. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the next winner in this category is Motilal Oswal Financial Services Limited. Please welcome on stage Mr. Shalibhadra Shah, Chief Financial Officer, Motilal Oswal Financial Services. Congratulations. Congratulations. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the next set of awards pertain to the large enterprises category. These are companies with a gross turnover of over 3,000 crore rupees. These awards will be given to companies across the services and manufacturing sectors. So let's move on to our very first winner in the large enterprises manufacturing category for Financial Express CFO Awards 2022. And it goes to Divi's Laboratories Limited. We welcome on the stage Mr. Kishore Babu Linganemi, Chief Financial Officer, Divi's Laboratories, but he's unable to be here today. Can we request a representative to join us? Congratulations to you, sir, and to your entire team. The next winner in this category is NMDC Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. To accept the award, I welcome Mr. Amitava Mukherjee, Director, Finance, NMDC, joining us on stage right now. To a loud round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, and with that, I'd like to thank Mr. Doctor. Thank you very much for joining us on stage. I now invite Mr. Chitresh Sharma, CEO and co-founder Refine, to join us on stage. Welcome. Our next winner in this category for FE CFO Awards 2022 is Gland Pharma Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Ravi Shekhar Mitra, Chief Financial Officer, Gland Pharma. However, he's unable to be here today, but we welcome Mr. Prakash Balega, Vice President, Gland Pharma, who's here this evening. Congratulations to you, sir. Set of awards in large enterprises are in the services segment, and the first winner for FE CFO Awards 2022 in this category is HCL Technologies Limited. To receive the award, we welcome Mr. Prateek Agrawal, Chief Financial Officer, HCL Tech, joining us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, a loud round of applause. We are continuing with the large enterprises services category, and our next winner is, ladies and gentlemen, join us with a loud round of applause for ICICI Lombard General Insurance Company Limited. To receive the award, we welcome Mr. Gopal Balachandran, Chief Financial Officer, ICICI Lombard, joining us on stage. Congratulations to you, sir. The next winner in this category for FE CFO Awards 2022 is Bajaj Finance Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome on the stage Mr. Sandeep Jain, Chief Financial Officer, Bajaj Finance. He walks on the stage to a loud round of applause. Moving on to the next winner in large enterprises services category, and the winner is Wipro Limited. May I request Mr. Jatin Dalal, Chief Financial Officer, Wipro, to please join us on stage. Congratulations, sir. Congratulations to you, sir, and we'd like to thank Mr. Sharma. Thank you very much for joining us on stage. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving forward to the next set of awards, and I invite Mr. Shamal Majumdar, Editor, Financial Express, to kindly join us on stage, sir. Joining our honorable dignitaries. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to a special segment of the award ceremony which recognizes the distinctive role that leaders in the industry have played in their individual capacity in the development of their organizations and the industry. Now, these awards are based on special nominations by the Financial Express editorial team and our esteemed jury as well. So the very first award in the individual capacity is for the Financial Express CFO of the Year. It recognizes a leader who, with his innovative ideas, business excellence, and strategic leadership, has propelled the company to heightened success. Ladies and gentlemen, the Financial Express CFO of the Year goes to a man who helps manage the country's biggest corporate balance sheet. As joint CFO of Reliance Industries Limited, he has made sure the company's ratings haven't fallen, even though RIL's borrowings in the recent past have topped $70 billion. Moreover, he ensured RIL turned net debt zero ahead of schedule, stitching together several equity deals with strategic investors for geo platforms including Facebook and Google. He raised over 1.5 trillion rupees. He also oversaw a very large rights issue of 53,000 crore rupees in a difficult market. For these achievements, he was the obvious choice for CFO of the Year. So ladies and gentlemen, the Financial Express CFO of the Year is Mr. Shrikant Venkatachari, Joint Chief Financial Officer, Reliance. And we invite you, sir, to kindly share a few words with us.
To the Honorable Union Minister and today's Chief Guest, Mr. Piyush Goyal, Anand Goenka, nice to see you here. Eminent jury members, and to the entire Financial Express group, thank you so much for this award, which I humbly accept on behalf of the entire finance team. FY21 was a momentous year. You know, in August 19, we had announced our plans to be net debt free by March 21, and then COVID hit early 20. And, you know, overall oil prices was melting down, margins collapsed, supply chain logistics were significantly impacted, and it was work from home. So for us, from a finance standpoint, the first, really the objective was to support our manufacturing, ensuring that inventories didn't pile up, ensuring that banking went on, and also importantly to ensure that our risks in foreign exchange, interest rates and commodities were adequately managed. Also, simultaneously, from a finance standpoint, we were very focused on raising capital. We raised more than 250,000 crores in that period through a combination of getting in global investors, both strategic and financial. We did a large sell down of our infrastructure assets into an InvIT on the telecom side. We did a big rights issue at that point in time. We stitched up a JV with BP for fuel marketing and continued to sell down our shale assets. Actually, what was really heartening at that point in time was the feedback that we got from many corporates, many banks, many startups. Essentially, their feedback was that as our announcements kept happening, their own confidence on their ability to manage through the crisis grew. Also, as every announcement happened, it was becoming clear that the India story was absolutely intact. So for us, this award is really a recognition of what I would call Reliance's strength, and that is about really thinking big, thinking long-term, thinking differently, where when you look at it, there is alignment between a 50,000 feet vision and a 50 feet execution, and where building optionalities, redundancies, and flexibility is very much part of the design of a business or a design of a project. I would like to take this opportunity to really thank my chairman, Shri Mukesh Ambani, for not only his vision, for his leadership and immense societal value, but for the unqualified support and guidance that he has provided, and to each and every member of our executive committee team for their support and mentoring, and of course to Alok Agarwal for an extraordinarily strong partnership that we have. And then, of course, to each and every member of my finance team, some of them are here. Thank you so much and for your extraordinary work. I would just like to add here that I'll be actually failing if I don't mention my father, who has come here. Is a completely self-made man who bore a lot of responsibility at a very young age, and for his, I want to thank him for his inspiration and guidance. And actually, he continues to inspire many by being fiercely independent at 90 years age, and continuing his pursuits and passion in music, in philosophy and religion. And I must also take this opportunity to thank my wife, Vidya, who has been a pillar of strength for me, who has actually borne the volatility of my office work and timing. And actually, she has dual-hatted by really managing the home, as well as being completely involved in an NGO which supports the education of women, of underprivileged girls. Thank you so much, Vidya. And with this, I hand it over back. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. And of course, congratulations to you, your entire team at RIL, and of course, your entire family. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we move forward to the ultimate award for the evening, the Financial Express CFO Award, the Lifetime Achievement Award 2022. This award is being conferred on a veteran financial professional who, with his vision and exemplary contribution, has not only shaped the future of the Indian industry, but become an inspiration for many. Over a career spanning more than 4 decades, he has been much more than the mere caretaker of balance sheets. He has played the negotiator, strategist, and peacemaker, and his ability to save the day has found him a seat at the JSW Steel High Table. As the Group CFO and Joint Managing Director, JSW Steel, he has on more than one occasion helped restore the balance to the books. JSW Steel has had its share of ups and downs, but he has always ensured that the company was not short of resources to keep production going. His tremendous interpersonal skills have helped him win over bankers and suppliers. For his outstanding performance, ladies and gentlemen, the FE CFO Lifetime Achievement Award goes to Mr. Sheshagiri Rao, Group Chief Financial Officer. Standing ovation, ladies and gentlemen. Sir, the podium, all yours.
Good evening to everybody. Receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award has always have mixed feelings. Why I say mixed feelings? It creates a lot of anxiety. Why anxiety? Is that it marks a huge passage of time at the fag end of the career. You will receive the Life Achievement Award. So it is the tail end of the career. So what to do next is the anxiety. But at the same time, it also gives a lot of excitement. Why I am saying excitement is that there is huge amount of learnings over the last 4 decades. These learnings, interactions, and experiences, which I gained over the last 4 decades, I think that will make me to cherish for the rest of my life. So one side there is a anxiety, another side an excitement. Whenever I call it the Lifetime Achievement Award, I received it. As I mentioned to you, it is not one single person's activity that makes an organization successful. It is many, many JSWites and also vision of Mr. Sajjan Jindal that made this company and this group to succeed what they are today. I am really humbled for this award. Not only that, added advantage or added privilege which I have, I received this award from none other than Mr. Piyush Goyal, whom I respect and admire. When I wanted to give a presentation, I prepare so much. Because soon after the slide comes, he says, okay, I read it, what next? So that is how quickly he is able to grasp. So I always want to learn from him. So it is my honor and privilege to receive this award from him. At the same time, I also thank the Financial Express and the esteemed jury for selecting me for this award. I am also thankful to all the JSWites and also Mr. Parth Jindal, who is here, and all my friends and my well-wishers and my family and my wife in particular, who supported me to stand before you tonight. Throughout this period, I received so much of advice from all of them. So with all humility, I accept this award on behalf of entire JSW family. Thank you very much.
Requesting you, sir, to continue to be with us on stage. Please continue to be with us on stage as we now move forward. Continue to be with us on stage. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to that special moment, which is the group photograph with all our winners. So can we have all our winners join us on stage? And as they walk on, ladies and gentlemen, let the applause not stop. Corporation Limited, Suven Pharmaceuticals, Metropolis Healthcare, Sonata Software Limited, eClerk Services Limited. Congratulations, Dr. Lal Park Labs, Aptis Value Housing Finance India Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, every one of our winners on stage right now. Ajanta Pharma Limited, Grindwell Norton Limited. Congratulations to each and everyone. Pfizer Limited. Congratulations to ICICI Securities Limited. Persistent Systems Limited. Congratulations to Motilal Oswal Financial Services. Divi's Laboratory Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, we congratulate NMDC Limited, HCL Technologies, Gland Pharma, ICICI Lombard General Insurance Company Limited, Bajaj Finance, Wipro, congratulations. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we thank each and every one of our partners this evening. We'd like to thank our associate partners, Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation, Refine, Hewlett-Packard, Unison Insurance, FRR Immigration, Kesari Tours, Kohinoor Group, and ICICI. And we'd like to extend our warmest thanks to our Honorable Minister who joined us as our chief guest today. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Piyush Goyal. Thank you so much for your time and presence here today. We'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us and making it a truly memorable evening. An initiative of this scale and proportion would not have been achieved without the unstinting support from numerous quarters. Yes, we've thanked our partners, we've thanked each and every one of you, and especially a celebration like this is not complete without celebrating over cocktails and dinner. Ladies and gentlemen, we're also happy to share that all our winner CFOs, that's right, all our winner CFOs will also be given a special membership to the Adrian program run by Institutional Investor Advisory Services. So along with your award this evening, all our winner CFOs will be given a special membership to the Adrian program run by the Institutional Investor Advisory Services. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your presence right here this evening. What an evening it's been. We invite all of you to now join us as we celebrate the awards of the Financial Express CFO of the Year Award 2022. Please join us for cocktails and dinner. My name is Keisha Lobo. Thank you for your presence here this evening.